time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Nick family. Welcome to the morning recap show. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so you'll be notified anytime I go live or drop a video. The Knicks played their last, thank goodness, preseason game. I mean, I was excited to have the Knicks start playing again, but it was just too many preseason games, if you ask me. But they played the last preseason game against Washington at Madison Square Garden. And they won the game. I don't know how important that is. I mean, for me, the most important thing is just looking at how the team has improved from the first preseason game to the last. But they did beat the Wizards. So the Knicks came into this game 2-1 in the preseason. Washington came into this game having only won one game in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken. Bradley Beal missed I believe it was 2 preseason games. He was in health and safety protocols, but he did play last night. So the Knicks started the usual starters. Brunson, Fournier played, though it was only 16 minutes. He started. RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, who was huge. We'll talk about him. And for Washington, they played Monty Morris. They started Monty Morris, Bradley Beal, Will Barton, who came over from Denver in the trade in the offseason. Kyle Kuzma and Daniel Gafford played at center. Kristaps Porzingis didn't play due to an ankle injury. So let me just get into the individual team stats before I give you my observations on the game. And shout out to the chat. It's early Saturday, 8 a.m. And I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Pudge Nice, Jeffrey Clafter. I really hope I got that right. Andy, straight from Poland. Appreciate you. Deron Wayne, appreciate you as well. All right. So last night, everyone played. I mean, everybody was available. I should say that. Brunson rebounded with a very efficient game, 27 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 62.5% from the field. Robinson, we'll talk about him in the player spotlight, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks. RJ Barrett really having a really good, efficient, steady preseason. 19 points, 12 rebounds, shot 46% from the field, 57% from the three-point line. Overall for the Knicks, they didn't shoot that great. 43% from the field, 24% from the three-point line. But Washington, as we'll get to, didn't do much better. Like I said, Porzingis was out. Kispert was also out. That was there. This is his second year. He has some sort of injury. He's going to be out for a while, I believe. Hachimura played very well. I hope I said that right. 20 points, 8 rebounds, shot 50% from the field. Bradley Beal played the first preseason game, sat out the middle 2, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And Morris, 10 points, 4 assists. They only shot 38% from the field and 22% from the three-point line. I hope the Knicks has something to do with that because I thought the Knicks defense was much better. But let's get into that. All right, so this is my overall observations. And of course, I like to start with the offense. So, and you know, in true Tibbs Knicks fashion, I should start with the defense. Maybe I'll switch it up next time. But for today, I'm starting with the offense. I thought the Knicks continued to play with pace, which is important because if you remember last season, they played with pace and then it kind of petered out as we got into the regular season. I guess it still remains to be seen, but I am encouraged by how quickly they get the ball over half court, that they're moving the ball, moving their body. I really haven't seen much of a change in that respect. At some point in the second quarter, I thought the offense bogged down a little bit. I think it had something to do with Washington kind of turning up, their defense a little bit and kind of making it more difficult for the Knicks. So it kind of bogged down a little bit. However, Knicks came out in that third quarter, went on an 8-0 run, and got back to playing with pace, moving the ball, moving their bodies. So overall, I'm pleased with the offense. I like the way Brunson, RJ, and Randall are playing together. They're playing off of each other really well. I like the fact that Fournier, who only played 16 minutes, how he gets involved in terms of handling the ball. He got a rebound. He brought the ball up the court, initiate the offense. He's not just stuck in the corner. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing in this offense. It seems more like an equal opportunity offense, so to speak. So I really like that. I'm going to start off in terms of individual players with RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett is continuing to do RJ Barrett things. I really like what I'm seeing from Barrett. He's so steady and he's playing real smooth, and he's getting his points within the flow of the offense. I don't think the Knicks are featuring him. I don't think they're featuring him at all. It's just that he's efficient and he's hitting his shot. He's leading the Knicks in scoring in this preseason. Last night, 19 points, 12 rebounds, shot 46% from the field, 57% from the three-point line. His catch and shoot three-pointer is like water. And we're going to need that. That's going to help create space because Brunson likes to operate in the key. Randall likes to operate in the key. And so does RJ. But if he's hitting that three-point shot on the catch and shoot, that's going to create space. And I think Brunson needs it. I think Randall needs it. So I really like what I'm seeing from him. He's finishing at the rim. Maybe one game he might have struggled a little bit. But overall, RJ Barrett is finishing better at the rim. He's hitting his free throws. Maybe he'll be at 80% for the season. And so this is, in my opinion, what we need from RJ Barrett. Shooting off the dribble, yes, I would like that as well. It's something he's been working on. And like I said earlier, maybe that's something that'll come later on, in the season. But if he's hitting that catch and shoot three, he's finishing at the rim, he's hitting his free throws, I'm happy with. And he's playing good defense, which he is. I mean, he may get beat backdoor here and there, but overall, I think his defense is solid. I am happy with RJ Barrett. Just want to see what the chat is saying. Yep, it is a great sign for RJ Barrett. I agree. Jalen Brunson, is getting him some very good looks, and he's knocking them down. Uh-oh. Andy has a problem with RJ. All right, hit me in the chat. Let me know what that problem is. Andy, and shout out to everyone who has joined us since we started the show. I appreciate it. So this is what I think is happening with RJ Barrett. He's being consistent. And I think that's the hardest thing to do in the NBA, in anything really, is to get to a point where this is just what you do. This is not a good game. I'm not flashing what I can do. This is who I am, game in and game out. And that's where it looks like. We'll see as the season goes on, but that's what it looks like RJ Barrett is at. This is what you can expect from RJ Barrett every single game, right? And I like that. And I think that's the same thing that needs to happen, with other players as well, other young players. Grimes, hopefully he gets to that point. Obi, hopefully he gets to that point. IQ, hopefully he gets to that point where you know what you're going to get from this player every single night. And what you're getting is good. Some players, you know what you're going to get, but you don't want it. We know what we're getting from Barrett, and it's something that's helping the team, and it's something that's making this team better. Kudos for him. And I'm hoping the other young players get to this point. I talked about Fournier earlier, only 16 minutes, but like I said, I love that he's handling the ball more. He's a very good shooter. When they get him open shots, may not have been that great in this preseason, but I have every confidence in the world during the regular season when Fournier gets open shots, he's going to knock it down. Randall played okay. I mean, he didn't shoot well. 3 for 11 from the field, 0 for 5 from the three-point line. He did shoot 80%, 0 for 5 from the three-point line, 80% from the free throw line. He only had one turnover. I thought he handled the ball a bit too much for my liking, but you know what? I think that's how it's going to be. He's going to be that secondary or tertiary ball handler. So the dreams that I had, or many of us have had, of him not touching the ball at all, just going down and playing a traditional power forward role, I think we're going to have to give it up. He's going to handle the ball some. And I don't know if that's a bad idea. I think having multiple ball handlers and having, the team being able to play off of multiple ball handlers makes us a bit more dynamic. But I just thought it was a bit too much for my liking, but I think that's just how it's going to be. He is going to handle the ball some. And I agree with you, Jeffrey. It's better than being the primary ball handler, no doubt. No doubt about it. Brunson was very efficient on offense. He's operating with a little less space than he did in Dallas. So I think there's going to be games where, sometimes it's just an off night. Sometimes you just don't shoot well. But overall, I think he's operating with a little less space than he operated with in Dallas. It is going to take some adjusting for him. And it's up to him and the coaching staff to kind of, figure it out. Mitch looked very good. We'll talk about him in the player spotlight. Hartenstein, he fouls a bit too much. He does, but I think he had 9 rebounds if I'm not mistaken. And I just love the added dimension that he brings to this team. I liked in the first half, they brought him in with the first unit and he hit Brunson on a backdoor pass for a layup. I just love his vision. I love his playmaking. I love the potential that he brings to this team, especially down there. We're moving our bodies, we're moving the ball more, and now you have a center that can move the ball as well and hit people. So I'm really liking what Hartenstein brings, and he's a good rebounder. I'm not sure how many minutes he played. I don't think I have it here, but he had 9 rebounds. I think, and whatever he played, he had 9 rebounds. So I like the dimension that he brings. Exactly, Walter White. That backdoor pass was sweet, and Brunson was able to finish it. Sharice, appreciate you rocking with me this morning. Sims needs some minutes. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. When Sims is in the game, he's productive. He's active. He rebounds for us. He looks much more comfortable on the floor. When a player puts the ball on the floor for a few dribbles, that tells me they're comfortable out there. I just don't see where he's going to get the minutes. I think it's a good problem that the Knicks have, that they have players that are situational who can get minutes. And if there's ever an injury, I mean, our depth is super good. God forbid one of our centers gets hurt. Sims comes in. I think we may lose if he's coming in for Hartenstein. We may lose more, as far as ball movement and what have you. But in terms of rebounding, probably not. So I think it's just a good problem to have. I don't see the rotation going past 10. And I think last night was somewhat of an indication of what the rotations are going to be. Rose played 14 minutes, which is kind of what I see for him, 12 to 14 minutes, just whatever minutes Brunson doesn't play, Rose plays. And that's what happened. He played 14 minutes last night. He looked really good, though he didn't shoot well. The Knicks didn't shoot well. I think we were 43% from the field. Rose was 1 for 5, and he played mostly off the ball. So it looks like IQ will be the primary ball handler in that second unit. And I thought IQ played much better. He was more under control, in that second unit. I thought his decision making, was a little better. He's another one that didn't shoot well. But again, other than a few Knicks, most of the Knicks, other than probably Brunson, RJ, obviously those who play close to the basket, I don't think the Knicks shot well. IQ was 3 for 9, but he had 9 rebounds. He had 3 assists and only 1 turnover. Right? So if you're not shooting well, what else are you doing? What else are you bringing to the team? He contributed 9 rebounds. So again, I never said IQ shouldn't be on the team or IQ shouldn't be on the floor. I just would prefer he not play the backup point guard position because his decision making is inconsistent at best. But last night I thought he was, I thought he was good. Grimes played in his first preseason game, only 16 minutes. He looked okay. He looked quick. He put the ball on the floor once, went to the basket, and it was like a poop poop, type of move. If he's able to do that now, when they close out, because they're gonna have to respect him, he can hit the 3, and they close out on him, and he could put the ball on the floor for the pull up or go to the rim, finish at the rim. That's going to take his game to another level, and that's going to really help the Knicks. So let's see what happens. Grimes got more minutes than Cam, so I think it's safe to say Cam got 9.5 minutes, and he closed the game on the same team that I saw in open practice that had on the green jerseys, which is the situational team, right? So it was very telling, at the end of the game last night, Cam was on the floor with that team, so I think Cam is going to be situational. Now, if there's injuries and things like that, he'll have an opportunity, to work his way back into the rotation. But right now, it looks like he's the odd man out, of the rotation. So, it is what it is. Let me see what the chat is saying. Pudge Nice. Appreciate Pudge Nice was in here bright and early. What, like 7:30 or something like that? Appreciate you. Tibbs gave Cam his chance. Jeffrey, in terms of Grimes, defense is better with Grimes. Yeah, his perimeter defense is better. It's good. Excuse me. NEF, agree, Queen. IQ hasn't progressed much in his decision making. He's a scorer, period. Is a good enough scorer? Still not sure. And it's frustrating as a Quickly fan. I mean, I think at some point, let me ask you, how many years in the league do you begin to think that this is just who the player is? For me, if I'm not seeing much improvement in a particular area, I just start to think that that's just who the player is. If I'm seeing incremental improvement and I'm like, all right, maybe, he'll continue to improve. But if I'm not seeing much improvement in a particular area, 3 years in, 4 years in, I'm more apt to think that that's who the player is in that respect. We'll see. Jeffrey Clafter said 3 or 4 years. Building Blocks, appreciate you, said 4 years. Yeah. Louisiana Knicks, 3 to 4 years, you are what you are. Yeah, I'm starting to, yeah, I think I agree with that. 3 to 4 years. Eddie F, I'm not there with Quick yet, but he's still not seeing the floor much. And I get that. Just trying to give players a bit more time. That's kind of where I was with Mitch. 3 years, 8 points, 8 rebounds. And I'm starting to think, this is just who Mitch is. We'll talk about him. I saw some encouraging things, but like we talked about with RJ, it's not about what you flash here and there. When I say this is who you are, it's because that's what you do most of the time, right? RJ is at the point where he's playing at a high level most of the time, right? I think it will continue. I know it's preseason, but I think that's something that will continue in preseason. Mitch, I saw flashes, and we'll talk more about him. Can that become something that he is most of the time. Um, we shall see. Shout out to Worldwide L. Appreciate you. Listen, I was listening to you and Hard Will go at it last night. I was in the chat. I was doing some work, so I couldn't really comment, but I was listening to you guys. That was a great show. And let me see if there's anybody else I want to highlight before I move to the defense. McBride, McBride played 2 minutes, so it looks like he's going to be situational as well. And situational just means you're not part of the regular 10-man rotation. But if someone gets hurt, if there's a blowout, you're going to get your time. I was really encouraged by what I saw in McBride this preseason. And I really think that the Knicks are going to move on from Derrick Rose in the offseason. And I believe McBride is going to be the backup point guard. Now, the backup point guard to Brunson is not a lot of minutes, right? 12 to 14 minutes. But I think he's in line for that. So I wouldn't get too down for the McBride hive because he may not be in the rotation this season. Things happen. And, Rose is injury prone. So it may just be a matter of time before we see him in the rotation. Yeah, I mean, Deuce can't shoot consistently, but listen, the Knicks haven't been shooting consistently, at least in this in this in this preseason. But I get you. He does need to shoot a little better. Oh, talking about shooting, this is what I want to talk about. Obi. I thought Obi was okay. He played 18 minutes. Now, the rotations were kind of similar to what they're going to be in the regular season. And he played the minutes that Randall didn't play. Is that a precursor of things to come? We shall see. But I think if Obi wants to play more and he wants to demand his minutes, he has to hit the three. That's it. You hit the three-pointer, that gives you more minutes in the half court. You're an asset in the half court. The first game, 0%. He missed all his three-pointers. The second game, I think that was the game he was 4 for 7 or whatever. Last game, he missed all his three-pointers. Last night, he missed all his three-pointers. I don't know if he's pressing. I don't know if he needs to kind of slow down, a little bit. But that is what I was hoping to see. And obviously it's the preseason. There's a long runway, for him to get better at it. He can shoot that shot. So I'm not sure what's going on. It's like he's hot and everything he puts up is going in, or he's missing. And when he's missing badly. So to me, Obi playing more is really about, and contributing more on the offensive end is about him hitting that 3-point shot. Other than that, he looked really comfortable. He had 4 rebounds. Actually, he had 4 rebounds, which was probably, I think last game he had 1. So again, Obi has to get to the point where RJ is, and it takes time. Where the games that you flash, those good games that you have, it just becomes who you are. He's not there yet. A lot of our young guys are not there yet. But in time, hopefully they will be, where this is what we're getting from this guy every time. Yeah, Sharice Duncan, Obi needs to slow down. He have to let the game come to him. He does. I think he hit those threes though in the flow of the offense. I didn't get the sense that he was forcing them. He just didn't hit them. Pudge Knight signed one more power forward center for insurance. I'm not sure we need another power forward center for insurance, but we might need another point guard for insurance. But yeah, appreciate that. I think that's all I have to say about our offense. Andy said something earlier. I don't know if I missed it. Andy, he said, let's go, Steph. I need a wingman on this IQ critique. Yeah, I mean, I think, what was it, after the Indiana game at Indiana, is when I said what I had to say about IQ, but I thought he played better today on the ball. And I just want to make sure that I'm clear. I'm not talking about IQ's overall game. I'm not talking about what he can bring to this team. He is an asset. Make no mistake about it. I just think that consistent decision making is not there yet. Some days it is, some games it's not. It's not there yet. He has to get to the point where this is who I am, game in and game out. This is what you can expect from me, and it takes some time. So I think I covered everything I wanted to cover offensively. Defensively, it's pretty short. Um, just that I thought the Knicks defense was much better than it was when we played at Indiana. I thought they closed out better. I thought they kept their player in front of them better. When they got picked off, they fought over screens better. Yeah, I thought the defense was better. Um, Washington did not shoot well. I forgot what it was, but they didn't shoot well from the field, and I think some of that was the defense the New York Knicks made. So that's something that we're gonna have to hang our hat on. I think we're better offensively, but I'm not ready. I don't think our offense is that great that we can just be like, it's okay if we're ranked 20 in defense. I think that's a recipe for disaster. I think the Knicks still have to be in the top 15 in defense to be effective. You're going to have to be able to stop. Even if you can't stop teams or stop their best players, you have to be able to make it harder for them. So, defense is something that takes time, especially us, because we're going to be a team defender, if that makes sense. I don't know if we have a lot of individual stoppers on this team. I think we have some plus defenders on this team, but if we're going to be a good defensive team, it's because we're a good defensive team, if that makes sense. It's not going to be individuals bailing us out. It's going to be that we're on a string. We're covering for each other. We're where we're supposed to be. We're playing better perimeter defense. And if someone does get into key, the rotations are tight. That's how we're gonna be a good defensive team. Appreciate you, Freezy, stopping by. And I think that's how we're going to be a good team. I don't think we have good top talent, right? We're a deep team. If you can, for those who are old enough to remember the Detroit Pistons, and I'm not saying we're playing at that level, but in early 2000, 2003, 2004, they didn't really have a superstar on that team, but they had players who were really good, and it took a team effort for them to have the success that they did. Everybody played their role to a T. They were like all stars in whatever role they had on that team, and it came together nicely. That's how I see this Knicks team. I don't think um, you know, we don't have a superstar at this point. This is just, that's just what it is. Andy has a point about RJ. I'm gonna get back to that. Um, and also, I thought Fournier's defense was pretty good. I was watching him. I thought his defense was pretty good in terms of fighting over screens, trying to stay attached to his guy, getting his hands in the passing lanes. I just don't think Fournier is as bad a defender as people say he is. Is Grimes better? Yes, he is. But is Fournier the worst defensive player I've seen? He's not. He's just not. Now, I don't think he gives the same effort defensively every single game, and I'm talking about last season. Let's see if that changes, but I don't think he's the worst, defensive player. Oh, Andy, I'm not sure about this. This is going back to the offense. I didn't pick up on this comment earlier. So, Andy, shout out to you. My issue with RJ's self shot creation is I don't feel comfortable with it. I think he disrupts the whole offense when he decides to go for his, and he doesn't get to a good shot situation. Wow. Yeah, I just haven't seen that this season, this preseason. I just haven't seen that. I've seen him take his shots in the flow of the offense. Um, when other players have the ball, I see him, locating a spot, where he can, if they decide to pass, he's in their eyesight, for a good pass. Um, when he brings the ball up the court, does he take it all the way to the rim sometimes? Yeah. I don't know. I don't see it. Chat, let me know what you think. I think I've thought in the preseason that RJ's shot selection has been superb, but maybe I'm missing something. So let me know what you think about what you think about Andy's comment about RJ Barrett's shot selection in this preseason. Quality jumper, appreciate you for joining us. Decent win, nice bounce back from the Pacers debacle. All right. Appreciate you. Eddie F. Evan is solid. He's not spectacular. Okay. All right. Randall's defense been great. Yeah, it's been pretty good. Especially his on-ball defense. His on-ball defense, when he's engaged, is really good for somebody his size. His off-ball defense, his rotations, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Eddie F. Oh, I said that already. I thought there was another comment. Okay. Evan is smart but slow. Listen, there's a lot of slow players. There's a lot of below average athletic players who've had success in this league. Cash out Chase. Evan is the worst defender on the Knicks. All right. Andy clarified his statement. Catch and shoot great when he starts creating shaky, but he doesn't do that a lot though. He doesn't do that a lot, but I think that's the next evolution of RJ Barrett's game, being able to put the ball on the floor, being able to shoot off the dribble, so to speak. I think that's going to open up his game tremendously, right? Because now you can shoot the three off the dribble. Now, when you're driving to the lane, the defense is probably saying he's going all the way to the basket. We already know that. Nah, when you start pulling up off the dribble, now they don't know. Looks like he's going all the way to the basket. Boom. Pull up on a dime, hit the mid-range shot, right? I think his vision, he's a able passer. I'm wondering if he's at the point yet where he can see all of his options when he's driving. I don't think he's selfish. I don't think he's seeing the guys and he's just not passing. But is he at the point where when he's driving in the lane, he can see all of the options open to him and he can process? Should I go all the way to the rim? Shall I pull up right here for the mid-range? Oh, there's Brunson in the corner. Or should I pass it to him? When he gets to that level, now, as my grandmother would say, rest in peace, now you're cooking with grease. So, we shall see. Will Randall shoot better this year? It seems like he has been off now that the pressure has lifted somewhat. Yeah, he didn't shoot well last night. I'm not sure what it's been overall in the preseason, but I know he didn't shoot well last night. All right. Let's get to Mitchell Robinson. And I'm really interested in what the chat has to say about Mitchell Robinson. And for those who are listening later, be sure to comment down below. I thought Mitchell Robinson looked great last night. I thought he was all over the place. He was very active. 20 points, 12 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, took 9 shots from the field, 12 shots from the field and made 9 of them. Most of them were were dunks, but Robinson has really good hands. Some of those passes, he was able to dig them out. And then he was strong enough to dunk the ball in traffic, something that we've seen before. But 20 points, I think part of it is he is an elite offensive rebounder and finisher, right? He had 12 rebounds. I believe 8 or 9 of them were offensive, right? And he was able to convert most of them, right? So he's an elite offensive rebounding finisher. So that allows him to contribute offensively for us by just converting the offensive rebounds that he gets. We had 26, I believe, second chance points last night. But in addition to that, we have players that can actually locate Mitch for lobs. How many times was Mitch open, last season for lobs and we missed them, right? Now we got RJ Barrett looking for him. We got Fournier, who always looked for him. We got Brunson. We got Randall. So with the way the offense is flowing, Mitch is available more maybe, but they're spotting him more. And that bodes well for him as far as his points. I mean, he's still not at the point where he can create his own shot, right? You're not going to throw it to him in the post. Though he did try to put the ball on the floor. I don't know what that was. It didn't look great. I believe he was fouled, but he's not somebody really that's going to create a shot in the post or with a mid-range shot. Basically, is the offensive rebounds that he converts and finishing off of the lobs where he's going to get his points. And I'll take it. Yeah, 20 points last night, double-digit rebounds. I still would like Mitch to get more defensive rebounds, but we need those offensive rebounds. We need those second chance points, especially when we're not shooting well, right? We're not shooting well. There's more offensive rebounds to be had. So we do need those second chance points. I just wish there was a bit more defensive rebounds in there as well. And in the 2 blocks, even the shots that he didn't block, he was active, in terms of deterring shots. He got 1 goal 10, but he ran the length of the court to try to stop that layup. He was a bit late, but the effort he put in was impressive. So this is the thing with Mitch. If you remember last season, he would flash and have games like this where he was pretty dominant, right? And then he would go back to being the regular Mitch, which is not bad. Don't get me wrong. But the Mitch we saw last night, that activity, can that be something we see from Mitch game in and game out? We shall see. But I thought last night Mitch Robinson was impressive. Let me see if there's any. Nope, nothing on Mitch. That RJ conversation is still going on though. All right. These were the team stats. The Knicks scored 105 points, 66 rebounds, 25 assists. 25 assists is going to place the Knicks at least in the top half in the NBA. And that's not something that they were last season. So that just tells me that they're moving the ball. And we didn't shoot well, and we still had 25 assists, right? So that means the shots that we did make, most of them were assisted. So that bodes well for the Knicks that they're moving the ball. 6 steals, 6 blocks, 14 turnovers. Again, didn't shoot well. 42.7% from the field, 24% from 3, 75% from the free throw line. They had one game in which they shot 96%. Every other game in the preseason, I think they were 75% or below. And that might be right around where we were last season. I'm going to have to check. But I would like us to be a bit better at the free throw line. Points in the paint, 58. Mitch had a lot to do with that. Second chance points, 26. Mitch had a lot to do with that. Fast break points, only 7. I would really like the Knicks to get that up. But that being said, the points in the paint was up. Second chance points were up, even if the fast break points weren't. So I'm okay with that. I'm going to get into the next Our next game, the preseason has ended, Nick family, and we can finally see regular season games. So our next game is at Memphis, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. I want to say that game is on ESPN. Somebody in the chat if you know for sure. But I believe I always watching when I have the option between MSG and ESPN because I am in New York. I choose MSG. I just like the commentary better. But for the starters for Memphis, John Morant, Desmond Bain, Dylan Brooks, I believe S. Aldama, and Sam Adams. I'm not sure if it's both of them because I think that's what they did the last game. Aldama is an international player, and he can play both power forward and center. I'm not sure if they're going to play both of them together, but I got this from their last game, so maybe they will. I'm not sure what the matchups are going to be. This is more so that we can see who's on their team, right? Jones is back to back up, Morant. Their bench is not that deep, in my opinion. Brandon Clark, I recognize. Jaren Jackson Jr. is out injured again. He plays power forward / center for them. I think he's going to be out for a few months, if I'm not mistaken. So we won't have to deal with him. Not that he was a huge problem for us, but we won't have to deal with him. Excuse my dog. I'm dog sitting. But Kenny Lofton Jr., is he situational or will he be playing? I mean, I thought he played, pretty okay in the preseason from the games that I saw, and I didn't watch much of the Memphis Grizzlies in the preseason, I must admit. So listen, I think our bench is better than theirs. And I think this might be a better game than we think it will be. But it's at Memphis. It's going to be a really good test for us. Morant is electric. Last season, he was top 3-5 in terms of points in the paint for a point guard. He's going to get in there. And Desmond Bain is, poised for a breakout season. But other than that, just looking at the roster, it's not intimidating. But again, it's not about the individual players. It's about how you function as a team. And Memphis Grizzlies last year were a very good team. So I am looking forward to seeing it. So I'm just going to check in with the chat one more time. And we are out of here. Punch Nice, going to be a great game. Yeah, it is. Quality jumper without Jackson, we will have the advantage. I really hope you're right. Deron Wayne, I turn off sound when we have to watch on ESPN or TNT. Yeah. The only time I would watch it is if it's Doris Burke, Mike Breen, Mark Jackson, Van Gundy. I will watch it. I will keep the sound on. Everybody else to me is just rehashing old narratives. Like the Knicks are past that already, and you're still talking about old stuff. We have the best color man in the game. Yeah, we do, Walter Wright. Appreciate you. Lofton Jr. is actually good, to be honest. He is. And when you look at him, you wouldn't think so, right? If you're just looking at him. But yeah, he is. All right. So just gonna set up the next week. For those who don't know, I'm also the host of the Queen's Court on the Nothing But Knicks channel. So every Monday we do a weekly recap of the Knicks games, right? So on this channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk, you'll get the recap of each individual game. But on Mondays, on Queen's Court, on Nothing But Knicks, you'll get a recap of whatever the games the Knicks have played since the last show, so to speak. And then that show is with a panel, right? So that's this Monday at 8 p.m. Tuesday, right here on Dope Soul Sports Talk, we will do the Knicks preview, season preview. So be sure to check in Tuesday, 9:00. The Just Nicking It show. It should be a lot of fun. Then the Knicks play Wednesday. I'll be back here Thursday morning for my morning recap. I appreciate all of you rocking with me. Jeffrey, Clafter, Sharice, Duncan, Cash Out Change, Andy M. Oh yeah, Steph, shout out to MBK Fantasy League. Go to MBK YouTube channel, watch the video that Andy made yesterday, and sign up if you want to play fantasy basketball with the MBK fam. I hope not too many people sign up because these 20 team leagues is just killing me. But if you're interested in playing fantasy basketball with MBK, please sign up. If you aren't subscribed to it, if you're listening to this in your car, if you're at home, subscribe to the channel. If you're in your car, when you get home, subscribe to Dope Soul Sports Talk. If you're appreciating the content, shout out to Cash Out James, Quality Jumper, Pudge Nice, Deron Wayne, Eddie F, Walter White, Worldwide L was in here earlier. Eddie F. Ooh, Bodega Wi-Fi. Appreciate you. I think if I missed anybody, please forget. Freezy, Blanche Tears was in. I appreciate all of you for rocking with me. Keisham, I appreciate it. I will see you guys on the Queen's Court Monday. Dope Soul Sports Talk preview show on Tuesday night, and then I'll be back here Thursday morning. Appreciate you guys.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's her.
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.